Welcome to The Change, a podcast about the changes in life that shake, break, and make us. I'm Laura, a 45-year-old writer, podcaster, and mum who has until recently always loved change.
And I'm Cathy, a 53-year-old writer, podcaster, and mum, and change is actually my kryptonite. We acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia on which this podcast is recorded and recognise the continuing connections to lands, waters and communities.
We pay our respects to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures and elders past and present.
Hey Laura, how you going?
Hey Cathy, look, I'm all right. How are you going?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm getting excited because I'm going away on a little holiday.
Oh, tell me. I want to just live the holiday, but not necessarily. I know what you're going to say about the pre-holiday. Tell me about that. Tell me.
So you do know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Because
it's relatable.
Something that many women can relate to, right? It's the pre-holiday admin.
For sure.
And it is full on. We're heading off. We're leaving the kids at home and we're going to be we're only away for, 10 days or whatever. So it's super exciting. And it was a spur of the moment decision because as I said to someone recently, I needed a break before I broke. So at least I recognised that.
That's excellent insight, I would say.
But yes, I forgot about the admin that comes with holidays, and that is the planning of the outfits, like the stupid stuff. I'm not even talking about, putting meals in the fridge or anything like that for the kids because they're all adults now and they're perfectly capable of, cooking and cleaning and doing all of those things at home. But I'm talking about my admin. So wrapping things up at work, which is sort of
always busy, isn't it, before you go away, whatever you do. Yeah.
Yeah, making sure that I've covered everything. So, covered all my bases, making sure I'm not leaving anyone without the information that they need or whatever. But then comes the actual admin around what am I going to wear? What am I going to wear for 9 days away? What if it's cold? What if it's hot? What if it's not what if it's in the middle?
What if you're going out for mocktails and fancy dinners? Yeah.
And, my football team is playing in the finals while we're away. So, do I pack my footy T-shirt? Do I, it's all the crazy little things that I am one to completely overthink. I notoriously overpack.
I'm the same.
And I will probably pack enough for a month away and I will wear probably a quarter of what I pack. And every time I go on holidays, I say, I am not going to do that. And I do it every time. So,
same.
So super excited, looking forward to it, hoping the weather's great. But I just need to get there. And getting from there to here feels, or from here to there, more to the point, feels like it is a lifetime away. And we should probably mention at this point that we are pre-recording this episode. So by the time you all hear this, I will have been on my holiday and be back. And, we're doing that because, Laura's going to be out of the country for a little bit and we thought it would be better to record early and have it in the bank. So if this sort of seems a little out of sequence to people, that's kind of why.
I think the funny thing about the clothes, well, obviously we'll have to follow up, won't we, and see if you do actually wear what you pack. So I want to know. We'll have to
guaranteed I won't, but we will circle back to that.
We'll circle back. It's such a thing. I do it every time too. I wish I was one of those women, the capsule wardrobe women that can just take a carry-on suitcase. I think I've seen some. Is it Dr. Ginny Mansberg did it recently?
Liz or Sarah did it.
Yes, they wear that stripy top.
Yeah.
And I think in theory I'm down with it. I think I do the same as you. I'll overpack and I think I should have just packed my jeans, 3 tops and maybe some athleisure if I'm going for a walk, 2 pairs of shoes and a blazer or something like that.
A nice outfit. One nice
that's
outfit.
one nice outfit. Exactly. Precisely. But then you start factoring in, weather changes in different activities you might do, stuff with kids where you need to be walking, or just all that different things, isn't there? There's so many potentials. And then you're like, well, I've got that really nice outfit that I've just bought and I want to, bring that. And I also think before holidays, I always end up buying the odd thing. And then I think, oh, what am I going to wear on the plane? Oh, I need a new pair of socks, or I'd like to wear a nice new comfy jumper, and then I end up spending money before I've even left, which is ridiculous. And then I wear it on the plane.
I know, it's crazy.
And every time.
Because I tend to go on cruise holidays, I'm not bound by luggage.
Oh, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much you take. I could take 10 bags if I wanted.
Jeez.
I mean, I wouldn't.
No.
But you could.
Yeah.
And because of that, I get lazy. But yeah, I am incredibly envious of those people that can, keep it very minimal. I am not one of those people. Wish I was. And every time I see those capsules, I think, I'm going to do that next time, but I never do.
No, me too. I think the things I've learned, actually, if I could say anything you've done lots of traveling, is pack outfits as opposed to singular items. Make sure things match up with each other. I've definitely made the mistake of throwing in a bunch of random tops and then going, why did I pack all these random tops? Because they don't actually go with anything that I've packed, or trousers or whatnot. But anyway, I guess you'll get there. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I will definitely get away on holiday.
You will get away, whatever happens. And there will be clothes.
Yes, there will be some clothes, and whatever I take will just be what I take.
That's it. I have to suffice.
Yeah. How about you? What have you been up to?
Well, it's been a pretty terrible couple of weeks. So a very, very dear friend of mine has recently just passed away from cancer. And it's so hard because I knew it was coming, and she knew it was coming, and we had a few, final conversations and swap messages, and
she's not local.
No, so she lives in the UK, but I met her here in Newcastle actually 20 years ago, and we were just great friends, supported each other through those early years of parenting, but also being Pommy expats living in Newcastle. It was like we shared that experience. We both love writing. She was a brilliant writer, brilliant poet, and it's just, I just can't. I think I'm in the phase where I can't actually quite believe it yet. I'm still. I don't think I've really accepted it. I still think I'm in a bit of shock. I look at photos of her and I think of her, and I think I guess we all do this. If anyone's lost someone that they love, it's a very difficult thing, isn't it? To suddenly go from talking about them in the present tense, and when you're going to talk to them next, to suddenly they're in the in the past tense, and I am definitely not there yet. I haven't quite got there, and I've been over looking at photos. I've been looking through WhatsApp chats that go back years, and just heard and that's the thing, isn't it? When someone's gone and they're gone, and you're looking over their words, and just the chitty chat that we used to share, just how's it going, and little things that you have with your friends that are meaningless most of the time, and occasionally. It might be because a baby's been born, or, something significant has happened, like when she was diagnosed with cancer or something like that. And that's going back a few years. But there's just lots of meaningless chat about work and about the kids and about holidays and can't wait to see you. And I just went through it, pouring over it. And it's just, it's still, I guess, yes, I haven't really come to terms with the fact that I won't be doing that with her ever again. And I think, how does one come to terms with that whole thing? I mean, she was a spiritual person, and she had, some faith in life after death, and I don't really have that, and I struggle so hard. To know, just to kind of put it all into place, I suppose, and Oh, Kathy, yeah. So I've just kind of in this weird state where I've been crying a lot. I've been messaging lots. Had lots of mutual friends and spent a lot of time talking with them and just kind of, I don't know,
And are
getting through it.
you friends here in Australia or?
Yeah. So we've got on a few nights ago we had dinner with mutual friends and yeah, and it was so weird in the car on the way home. I thought I must text her and say we've caught up with our mutual friend, like because that would be what I would have done every single time. And because we were talking about her, but we were talking about her in the sense that she was no longer here, and that's just. Yeah, it's just I don't know. It doesn't seem real just as yet, and I haven't even got to the stage of the funeral, and I'm going to go over there a little bit earlier, to hopefully go to that. I think it's important for. I feel like it's important to go and honour her, but I also feel kind of weird about the whole funeral thing too, because what is it? What's the point of it? I honestly, I'm in a very strange headspace at the moment about all the big questions that we have in life, life and death. And I just really miss my friend.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
As someone who sadly has had far too much grief in my life, it is really okay to just be a friend, and there's no right or wrong way to do grief. Listen to me tell you how to do it. But yeah, I would say there is no right or wrong way. And someone once said to me many years ago, and I've seen it many, many times, that grief is the price we pay for love, which is it kind of cuts. You kind of think, you know what? It sucks. And it's okay to be angry, and it's okay to be sad that you don't have your friend. But I think we spoke about this the other day just before she passed as well, that you'll find times where you'll want to reach out, and you can. Like there's no reason that you can't. You can just talk to her like she's still here. One of my dear friends, her mum passed away many, many years ago. I never met her mum. But we talk about her mum in the present like she is still here. And we talk about her mum in the present so much that I feel like I know her mum, even though I've never met her mum. So, I would encourage you to just talk about your friend and talk about Deb as though she's still here, because she's a significant part in your life, and she is. There's always going to be a Deb-sized hole in your heart, and nothing's going to change that. But that you will grow around that hole, you will grow around the Deb-shaped hole. It will stay the same, but you will grow around it. And at some point I'm not going to say you're going to come to peace or anything like that, because I don't think that I've ever really felt at peace around any of the people who I've loved and they've died. It just sucks.
It does.
And it's a shitty feeling for those who are left behind. And I wish I could reach through the computer and give you a big hug.
Oh, thank you.
But I know that would make us both cry.
Oh, God.
I'm a super sympathetic crier. So,
no, I'm the same.
But just, love her. She's still with you. She'll always be with you.
Yeah.
And that time that you've had, the 20 years, what a gift.
I know.
Some of us don't get 20 years of gift of a friendship, So
I think that too. I mean, it's still early days, and I was so angry. I was so angry today. I just felt so cranky about many things, but I think at the root of it was like, it's just like, how dare this happen? Gosh, sorry if I cry, but
no,
because I think she was young at 46, and it's just awful, isn't it, when people that we love are gone. But hey, oh gosh, I can't even say anyway. You know, as in
Oh,
podcasting world, or when you write and you kind of go, oh, anyway, there is no anyway to this
no.
sort of situation. It's just really fucking sad. And like you say, I will absolutely love her. And I still think funny things and think, oh, Deb would love that, or she'd laugh at that, or, you know, and I think that is the only way, as if she is here with me. I will always think of her and remember her, and I can hear her voice and the sorts of things that she would say in response to me. And I was always the emotional ball of, you know, fury and tears, and she was a very calm, stoic woman. So I think she would even listen to this and be like, oh, for God's sake, stop talking. That's right. Stop talking about me. Yeah. She'd be mortified probably.
And,
yeah. She was a very, very strong woman. So
I think of all those incredibly special times. Like, we had a beautiful trip with her to Jordan last year. That was
so happy we did that and have those amazing memories, photos. I'll treasure them.
Just the two of you. That was just such a special time. Just the two of you.
Just two of us.
Families, no husbands.
We had so much time to talk. It was great. Absolutely precious. And I think because we are talking, you know, partly because of this happening, talking about friendship today, and that to me is so important. And that's, you know, to spend that quality time with someone. I mean, we knew she had limited lifespan. We didn't know how long, obviously, but I think, God, I'm glad we did it when we did it. And that is just a massive wake-up call. And for everyone to spend time with the people that you love as much as you can. It's the most important thing. Absolutely. Yep. Connection, time, with the ones that we love most.
Yeah. I guess we've just chatted about your beautiful friend and me going on holidays and connecting with my husband, because that is important to do.
Very important.
With my loved one and loved ones. And so we thought we'd have a little chat about friendship. And we thought, well, actually, I suggested that we talk about the beautiful article that you wrote the beginning of this year, I think, just around the same time as we launched the podcast. You wrote a beautiful article about the importance of friendship. And for anyone who hasn't read the article that Laura wrote, we will definitely pop it in the show notes.
Yes.
But we really wanted to kind of unpack how friendship is really important as we get older. And there is, there's a lot of reports that sort of say that we meet our best friends around that age of 21, and that could be because we've left high school, so we don't have those worries, or we just, we've
you just have a lot of time, don't you, at that age? You just have more time to meet people, and you're just, whether you're at uni or you're in those early jobs, as you say, you're spending more time with mates, which you never have that time again in the same huge swathes, I suppose. No. If you have kids particularly.
No, especially not when you've got kids.
No.
Making friends as an adult I find it particularly difficult. And that's, I think, because I overthink everything. And so I will meet a new person and then I will go home and stress for like 2 weeks about all the stupid things that I might have said or done. And do they really like me? Are they just tolerating me? And, all the things. And I can promise you that I had all of those thoughts about us and when we met. But I think sometimes we also get a second chance to meet people, like as we get older. And when we are older, we're making friends as older people, like
midlife women.
Yeah, yes. midlife women. I think we you just know when you're going to connect with somebody. And even though I have all those stupid thoughts that run through my head, obviously we just knew. We knew that we were going to be friends, and here we are. We're doing a podcast. We worked together for nearly 12 months, and I think because time is limited when we're older and when we've got kids and we've got families and we've got all these other things happening in our lives, when you are making friends, you really want to make sure that they're worthwhile and worthy of investing your time.
Yeah, you kind of, your time is precious, as you say, and you know yourself better when you're in midlife. So you're more likely to make decisions not based on who's out at the club or wherever you are, or I don't know, living next door to you in halls of residence, or whatever where you're working. You're more likely to make the choices of who you want to be friends with because they share values or they might be in a similar life stage to you. But you kind of pick up more on cues, I think, that perhaps you are not so good at picking up at when you are younger. And you might have learned some lessons in the past about, the sorts of people that you connect well with. I think when one phase of life that kind of, I wouldn't say flummoxed me, but I made some great friends at school and I was very lucky, and at university. And then obviously I met Deb, and, she was a very solid friend for many years here in Newcastle. But when I had kids, I sort of assumed I was going to meet this tribe of women. Yeah. And that wasn't really my experience. Like, I joined a mother's group and there's some lovely women in there, but I didn't really connect with maybe one or two, but there wasn't this tribe that I'd expected. I saw those prams. I still see them, big groups of women in cafes that take over with their prams. And I think it looks like a very solid unit, and some women still catch up with their mother's group friends. I think of Holly Wainwright going on her annual trip with her mother's group friends, and I thought, oh, how wonderful. That wasn't my experience.
No.
And just because you have kids doesn't mean you're necessarily going to get on with someone that's just popped out a chart. That doesn't necessarily mean you're automatically friends, does it? Because you're parents.
Yeah, and my experience of those early years of motherhood were very similar to yours. Lovely, lovely people in my mother's groups.
Yes.
But I can't say, nope, there is not a single person that I am still in contact with from my mother's group. I am still friends with, close friends with women who had babies around the same time as me, but we weren't in mother's group together. We knew each other prior to having those babies. So, but yeah, it's hard when you want to make new friends and you think, oh, I've got time to make friends, but where do you go? What do you do? And there's some studies, like research from Harvard, that shows that having good relationships are above all else are really key to having a happy life. And so
important.
Yes, so important. And
the number one.
Who do you turn to, when you need someone? And I mean, we spoke to Sophie recently, Sophie Scott, for anyone who hasn't listened to that episode. And she was talking about how in the last 12 months she's made connection her priority, and she's made a very close friend because she had time to be able to make a close friend and a new friend. And I would say that too. Sometimes you do meet people when you have a little bit more space and a little bit more capacity. But yeah, friendship's a funny thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it really can be. And I think that the friends I've got from school that are still with me now, as in good friends, you really have to work at friendships, right? So it's not just, I think there's sometimes an assumption that you'll have your friends and they'll just, I don't know, hang around you or something. But actually, like any relationship, whether it's marriage or a partnership of any sort, you have to put effort in and time into it, and you need to be, on the phone or messaging or whatever it is, in order to maintain good friendships. And I think that as we get older, again, we are able to see the people that we want to maintain and work at those friendships and relationships with, and then you put the time in where it's worth it. I think it can be hard, and there's certainly people that have become, well, I've certainly read a lot of articles and seen a lot of things about toxic friendships and what to do when your friends ghost you, and there can be complications in friendships, like relationships, right? It's very similar.
And I would sort of, I guess I would caution people, anyone who's listening, to sort of thinking, oh, they ghosted me, because I know that I can be guilty of just like ghosting, I guess, because I get like into my own head for a couple of weeks, or you know, and when I'm in that place, I'm no good to anyone. I'm barely good enough for I'm barely good for myself, but it's hard to reach out to others. And like, I'm also very conscious, because I do live with mental health, to not want to bring other people down. So I know that, and that's like, you know, a big generalization, and obviously that's not necessarily toxicity as such, but I can be very guilty of just like disappearing. And I don't mean to. And I certainly am very conscious of being that needy friend as well. And I know that, and yeah, like with Mental Health Awareness Month and, you know, those sorts of things coming up, I've written a lot about that in the past. And part of being aware of my own mental health is having a plan of what I would do if things aren't great for me. And one of my dearest friends, I shared an article recently, and it was about, you know, what I would do if I wasn't okay. And there was a day some years ago where I was not okay. I can't really articulate why I wasn't. There never really is a rational reason why you're okay, because when there's reasons, like, you can sort of go, oh, that's, you know, whatever. And part of my plan was that she was my person, that I would call her. And normally she can't take my calls because of the type of work that she does. And this one particular day, she just knew she had to take my call. And when I shared my article recently, she sent me a message and she said, I just knew. I was on the floor with the kids, and she said, but I just knew I had to pick up the phone.
Thank goodness she did, yeah.
And she did. And I just needed to hear her voice. I just needed to know that I mattered and that I was loved. She didn't say any of those things, I've got to say. Like, she was just there. She was just on the other end of the phone for me. And sometimes that's what friendship is as well. Like, just knowing that you've got a person that's in your corner, that's not family, because family, they kind of have to love you because they're family. But I never want to take any of my friendships for granted, because every single one of them is so special to me in very different ways. And I think with your dear friend passing recently, that just reminds me of how precious friendship is and how important it is in our lives to have those special people who fill our cup in a very different way to our children and our husbands and our jobs. And friends, just like, they call you out on your bullshit, right?
Yeah. They know you to your core, but they also are there for you, like your friend was. But and they can also just be fun when you need fun, that is, or a person to go out with that doesn't have the kind of logistical baggage that the person you might be raising children with comes with. You know, like, it's a different sort of thing, isn't it? There's nothing necessarily that they need from you other than just you being there, like your friend was for you, just to listen and know you to your soul. And I think you make a really important point there, because about ghosting and the friends that you love and that are deeply embedded in us, who we've had through life, or might be newer friends, but who just know us really well. If you don't get back to them, or it doesn't mean that you're not, we know things might be going on, or some friends you might not only text once a year, twice a year, but they're all, you kind of pick up where you left off, right? Everyone's got those friends too. And I think it's a kind of, you need the mixed bag. I think it's all about building that patchwork of a community. Like, the morning after I found out about Deb, and I'd had a walk in nature, and I was just devastated beyond words. And I went into my local cafe where I have coffee every day, really, because I'm an addict. And beautiful.
Make it at home,
No, that's not the point. And I go in and I look like shit because I've been crying. And bless the owner of the cafe, who's also the barista and a friend, said, "Oh my God, you look hungover." And then that was it. I started crying on her. The cafe was full of people. Customer came and gave me a cuddle. It was just what I needed in that moment. These people are new friends in the sense that I know them well. They know me. I'm in there every day, but they haven't known me for years like their pals or anything. But I think sometimes that community group is lovely to have in your life as well. Whether it's a coffee shop, it used to be a pub in the old days. For some, it's church. For some, it's mother's group. Whatever it is, sometimes there is a place. There's a place for your core beautiful friends, and then there's a place for a kind of community level. Wherever you can get that, wherever you can get those feelings of being seen and supported is very, very important, I think.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be without my friends, and that includes you, my
Cathy. Love you.
Love you too. So, recos, have you got any?
Yes.
Yes, you do?
One great distracting one that I'm listening to at the moment. New audio book. I've only just started, but I know I'm onto a winner, and I hope that's okay because I will revisit and tell you if it's not. But it's a book called Want by Gillian Anderson, who
Gillian Anderson, from
X-Files.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Sex Education.
I always want to call it Ghost. I don't know why, but I can hear the music running through my head.
Yeah. Gillian Anderson, yes, absolutely. That Gillian Anderson, Scully. She is a hero of mine, inspiration, a beautiful, gorgeous, sexy woman who embodies everything about womanhood.
She would be a dream guest.
A dream guest, and also just a dream person to go out for dinner with and talk to. She'd be amazing. Absolutely. So interesting. And she's compiled this book. It's a bunch of essays, which is basically lots of women's fantasy, sexual fantasies. So, Cathy, it's right up your alley. As we know, Cathy loves a bit of sexy talk. She doesn't. And
for everyone playing along at home, I was choking when Laura said that. So,
sorry. No. So it's really interesting because it's so pervy stuff, other people talking about what they fantasize about but would never say in public because it's all anonymous. And I'm just listening to it at a voracious rate because, of course, I'm a dirty perv and I love to know these sorts of things. And it's very distracting when one is not in the best headspace. So, I'll come back to you. But, yes, Want, it's available on Audible and all good bookshops by Gillian Anderson, who's a legend.
Well, if I was into the pervy read, it sounds fabulous.
Yeah, it's great. And she's the narrator. She's got a beautiful voice and I love her.
She does. Okay. And maybe I should give it a listen.
Yeah. What's your reco?
Mine is called The Tea Chest by Josephine Moon. I've read it before, but sometimes in life I just like to go for my comfort things.
100%.
When I just can't, don't have the brain capacity to deal with anything else.
Mm-hmm.
It is a beautiful book about a woman who decides to take a risk on her family's future and opens a tea shop in London. And it's just beautiful. I am a big fan of Josephine Moon and her writing.
Oh.
And so this is one of her many books. Her other book, like another favourite of mine, Chocolate Promise. But she is just...
It's a lovely read, is it?
It's a lovely read. It's got a little twist and turn, which is nice. But it's mostly about tea and blending tea, and which is always lovely because I do love a nice cuppa. And I have a TV reco which has just started. It's on ABC iView for a change. I'm recommending something that's not on a paid subscription. It is a spin-off of Death in Paradise, which we all know is a favourite of mine.
Yes.
It's called Return to Paradise, and it is filmed in the Illawarra, where I am from or living now. I'm not from the Illawarra. I shouldn't say that. I'm from the Shire. Don't know why I felt the need to tell everybody that.
Yep.
Anyway, the beautiful scenery in the background is from my local area, and it features a quirky female lead as the lead detective. And she has to return to Australia, and it's very thematic. It's very, what are they? Formulaic.
Mm-hmm.
There's, someone dies, they solve the crime in a very quirky way. It goes for about 45 minutes, and it's all wrapped up neatly at the end of every episode. And what more can you want?
I love it. Sometimes we just need those shows, right? We just need, to know what's going to happen, roughly speaking. And but it's nice scenery always helps. Like Death in Paradise, filmed in the Caribbean. Beautiful, beautiful islands.
Who doesn't want to go there? I mean,
oh my gosh, I know.
Apart from that, I feel like there would be no one left alive. But anyway.
I know. Small island, many deaths. A bit like Midsummer Murders. Yes.
Or Blue Heelers, for anyone who is old enough to remember Blue Heelers in Australia. I mean, there was a town called Mount St Thomas, and I reckon, I don't know, for a town that had a population of about 35, I don't know. There was
the formula. It's the
15 seasons of death.
Yeah.
But anyway, whatever. Yeah. It was a fun show.
Oh, excellent. Love it.
Anyway.
Well, we'll leave you to it. Please keep listening to season 3 and all the wonderful women guests that we have on. You're in for some treats.
You sure are. And if you haven't listened to the episodes with Sophie Scott, Faye and Lauren from Motto Fashions, and Amanda Ramsey, please catch up on those and all of the fabulous guests that we had from last season and the season before.
Hooray!
Thanks for listening to The Change, a fully independent podcast. Whether you're seeking inspiration, curious about change, or just here for the great banter, we'd love you to make The Change your new go-to podcast.
And even better, send us your voice notes or questions about change. We'll use them on the show. Email us at changepod2023@gmail.com or DM us on Instagram at _change_pod. Find us wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram for more on The Change.